Good morning, everyone. We are also breaking the time frames, it seems, and we're running a little late. Our sincere apologies. Donald Kabaruka, who's our opening sort of keynote speech, speaker, is running late. So we're going to be flexible, and we're going to move things around a little bit. So the keynote will sort of be after the coffee break, and we'll have the introduction of Higher Life Innovation Fair before. So please do bear with us. Thank you for being here. And welcome to the Oxford Africa Conference 2017. We're so excited. Yes. So excited. Our theme today is breaking the frameworks. And this is really exciting because, you know, breaking hurts, and I want to talk a little bit about why we don't like breaking and why, in this particular context, breaking is exactly what we should be doing and what we should be focusing on. So a truly defining moment that I remember when I was 9 years old, me and my siblings were playing with the ball inside the house. And this is something we were not allowed to do. We accidentally broke the window. Now, I'm the daughter of a Namibian and a Nigerian parent, and so while I didn't get injured by any of the glass that was broken on that day, those of you who are familiar with typical African homes will understand what I mean when I say that that experience still hurt, right? So, you know, but there were some lessons from that, and I think the key lessons are relevant to sort of breaking the frameworks. The first thing is that breaking is the surest way to repair. So over the years in our home, we'd had like cracks in our windows or different windows that perhaps weren't functioning as well. And it often took months, sometimes years, for things to get repaired. But the day we shattered that window, you know, it took no less than the next morning before it was replaced and repaired. And this was because it became more pressing. And so, yes, breaking the frameworks is about optimism. It is about new ideas. It is about organic ideas. But it's also about exposing and shining light on some of our fragilities. And that's what's exciting, because that is what invigorates that urgency to repair. You know, I wish I could say that we were the kind of kids who learned our lesson, but, you know, 2 weeks later, we were playing again, you know, with the ball inside the house, and the ball goes straight for the window. And I hear just this loud bang, and I'm like, it's over, you know, it's a wrap for us. But I turn around, and to my surprise, the window is not broken. And so what I thought was my guardian angel, I would later discover was double glazed windows, which my mum had installed because she knew we would likely do the same thing again. This type of fortification really only occurs when we can identify these fragilities and then begin to sort of find the weak spots and prepare for them. And then we make our preparations relevant to the context that we're in, relevant to the relative disobedience of your kids, or in some of our own contexts, relevant to the specific needs of the continent. Breaking is uncomfortable, finally. So there was nothing, and I repeat, nothing comfortable about the day we broke that window. But I expect nothing different from our conversations that we are going to have for the next couple of hours. My hope is that we can actually push into the discomfort of breaking and ask ourselves the difficult questions. I hope we don't shy away from them, that we ask ourselves the difficult questions about our continent. Do we make enough room for each other? Do we truly love our continent, not just in terms of how we speak about it, but in terms of what we do for our continent? Do we see diversity as a unifying point? And then this one is pretty important. Are we open to being challenged about the methods that we've held on to for so long? And as Fred put it last night, is everything up for question? And I hope that we are able to do that for the coming hours. So ladies and gentlemen, we're really honored And we're really excited to welcome you to an experience that we hope will break some of the frameworks of how we think and how we approach questions concerning our continent. You are welcome, feel at home. Welcome to Oxford. Bem-vindo, and asante sana. Without further ado, I would like to welcome our Pro-Vice Chancellor of Oxford University. We're so grateful to have the university's support. Rebecca Surender, thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Rebecca Surender, Pro-Vice Chancellor for Equality and Diversity at Oxford. And it's my great privilege and pleasure to welcome you all here today to the 2017 Oxford Africa Conference. Particularly to those of you who this is your first time to the city or to our institution, welcome. Welcome to the city and to Oxford. I'm delighted that the British weather is holding up a little bit. Those of you who've been here for a few days will know it's been a grim few days. I'm reminded by our previous Vice-Chancellor, Andrew Hamilton, who had a wonderful phrase, and he would say, "The sun shines on the righteous." And certainly if that is true, then that bodes very well for us here at this conference today. Okay, so this is the 7th in a series of annual conferences organised by the Oxford University Africa Society, one of our very long-established student societies. It's an annual series designed to bring together policymakers, leaders, artists, students, and all of you stakeholders, in fact 500 delegates and speakers each year, in order to provide a stimulating platform for innovative discussion, interaction, networking, and creative and critical engagement with contemporary African issues. The conference is a real flagship event in Oxford's annual calendar, and we're delighted to host what has become one of the largest and most globally recognised interdisciplinary conferences in Africa, on Africa. We are particularly proud of the fact that this is a wholly student-led initiative and that the students and the organising committee are full-time students, and the fact they're able to mount such a fantastic conference programme, administer all the logistics of an event of this scale, while managing all the pressures of their study, research and examinations, is a real testament to their individual dedication and resourcefulness, but it's also a reflection of the calibre of the students we're able to, and we're fortunate enough to be able to have here at Oxford. So thank you all so much for your incredible work. So, as you've just heard, and as we all know, the theme of this year's conference, Breaking the Frameworks, Redefining Africa's Geopolitical, Economic and Cultural Identity Today, takes as its backdrop the political upheavals that have hit Europe and North Africa in recent times, and it poses the question and the challenge, how will Africa respond to this situation? How will it adopt strategies, technologies, skills and tools to respond to the current global political and economic uncertainty? The conference proposes that Africa can indeed excel and to some extent has a comparative advantage precisely because of its own historical and recent challenges. It has the potential to turn the turmoil in the West to one of opportunity for itself. The proposition is, of course, extremely fitting, given that, despite the fact that it is uneven, Africa is still among the fastest growing regions, with a youthful population and dynamic advances in infrastructure, business, entrepreneurship, medicine, science, and technology. And so for all these reasons, as the scope of this conference proposes, the region is poised for substantive and significant advances in the coming years. And it's particularly appropriate that Oxford, one of the world's great international universities, should be the setting for this lecture series. Our presence in Africa is broad, and the region is a focus of a great deal of our research and activity. Oxford currently has over 300 students and over 40 staff members from the continent. We have 2,500 alumni across Africa and well-established alumni organisations in Ghana, Kenya, Mauritius, Nigeria, South Africa and Zimbabwe. Oxford University Press has published branches publishing branches in Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa, and publishes and promotes its titles in a further 15 African countries, including Botswana, Ghana, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. OUP Press in South Africa was the 5th international branch of OUP to be established and is owned partly by the Mandela Rhodes Foundation, providing studentships for talented African graduates from South African universities, some of them here today. The university is today a leading centre for African studies across a wide range of disciplines. The African Studies Centre acts as a focal point for graduate level work and faculty research on and in Africa. Its doctoral programmes and master's courses are recognised as Europe's most prestigious and successful training programme in its field. And we have numerous institutes and research initiatives spanning multiple disciplines. To mention just one, which will be well known to some of you, the Oxford Kemmery Wellcome Trust Research Programme in Kenya is part of the Oxford Centre for Tropical Medicine. With over 500 staff, it's been conducting cutting-edge research into malaria and other tropical diseases since 1989. We're particularly excited about the launch last year of the Africa-Oxford Initiative, known colloquially as AFOX, an ambitious cross-university platform for supporting equitable academic partnerships between African academics and their institutions and counterparts in Oxford. It currently has over 300 active members in Oxford and partner African institutions, 27 African countries, and over 100 institutions and centres in Africa are actively engaged. AFOX is a sponsor of today's conference, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more about its work from Kevin Marsh and others in the course of the conference. So I hope from these very brief remarks, but more substantively from your engagement with Oxford colleagues in the course of the conference, you will get a sense of the very real interest and commitment Oxford University has in the African continent and its considerable engagement, which spans the entire gambit of disciplines. Both for that reason, but also for the crucial issues that the conference is addressing, I should like to give my thanks again to all of those who've been involved in organising this conference and all of you taking part in it, whether you're from Oxford or from other institutions. I wish you all a very productive and enjoyable conference. Thank you.